So I thought I'll make a little bit more detailed video on how to make one of these Hot Wheels RC car. First of all, once you finish drilling out the base and you cut out the front and rear stud, I always go in and grind out some materials for clearance for the front steering. And once that's done, you can go ahead and start making some quick measurements. So I usually measure the width of the base or the width of the car, and also basically from center to center of the wheels. So once I get that, I'll go into Autodesk Fusion 360 and design the base plate. Now, if you don't have a 3D printer, you can use plastic sheets like these. These are Delrin sheets that I bought online, a stack of them for pretty cheap. Or you can get styrene sheets. They're relatively cheap and they're really easy to work with. You can cut them, grind them, or sand them a little bit and use super glue, and they will bond together really well. I make the width of the base plate just a little bigger, so when it comes in here, it won't fit right away and you'll have to sand. I usually take one of these small files and just sand the sides on both sides, a little bit at a time, test fit, a little bit at a time, test fit, until the fit is snug. Once you got the desired fit, I normally try to see if this cross member is relatively in the center. Overall, just looking at it, the cross member and where the motor will mount or be super glued on, it looks relatively good. After doing so, I'll come in and use the on and off switch, put that into the open area here for the on and off switch, and I'll normally come in and sand the sides down just a little bit for a better fit. You don't want it too loose, but you want it to sit flush so you'll be able to reach the on and off toggle switch itself. And same goes for the charging port. This is the opening for the charging port. If it's too loose, it'll fall through just like this one. I'll probably need some adhesive or something just to keep it there. But the on and off switch is good. It's a snug fit. Okay, now moving on to the steering knuckles. I printed my steering knuckles like so, with a little L-shape bracket here so I can mount it. I can mount this onto this cross member here. And a lot of the times you'll have to run the flat file. You're gonna have to run it through the steering knuckle once or twice just to get any high spots. I printed this with support. Printed this guy with support, so there's a bunch of high spots in here that I can clean up with a snipper. Once you got everything cleaned up and you test fit your steering knuckles, just make sure it can pivot nice and clean without any bumps or without any resistance. for both sides. I normally put the base in, if you could, put the base in along with the knuckles. Let's do a test fit. Like so. And normally here, what I would do now is consider this width here, from this end to this end. And what that's gonna determine is basically your wheelbase here, to see if you have enough room to for your steering. Most of the time, you will have to remove one of these guys and trim the cross member down, snip it just a tad on both sides, so you could have clearance for the wheels. Another thing to consider as well is we will have to cut the front bumper and glue the front bumper and the rear bumper back on. So that is one thing to consider when you're putting in your base and your steering knuckle, because this guy here can interfere with your steering. So most of the time, this guy here is going to have to be grounded out, and this whole area here is going to need to be cut. The rear, not so much. I found out that since this guy's just stationary, or the rear motor is just stationary, and only the wheels is going to spin, I normally just cut out this ugly piece area here just for the heck of it. Now I will remove the wheels from this original base plate. Base plate here will be taken out to the garage, and the front bumper and the rear bumper is going to be cut out, cleaned up, and glue onto the car itself. And now it's time to drill holes in these knuckles, and also drill holes here in the cross member. I use a regular size paper clip to connect the two front knuckles, and it measures about 80 millimeter, 0.8 millimeter. And I found out that drill bit, the 1 millimeter drill bit, is perfect for it. This one is actually measuring 0.96. So this guy is actually perfect for the paper clip. And for this, I normally just eyeball it. I normally just drill pretty close to the corner here, so I can bend a paper clip to connect these two. And for one of the knuckles, I'll drill another hole down here, so I could attach the steering servo. Alright, once those two holes are drilled out, we're going to have to drill one hole right here through this arm, and that one is going to be tapped. So it's going to go through this small arm and through this top portion here. And so this hole is going to be tapped, so it could be screwed here and pivot. Now I've changed over to the 0.7 or 0.75 millimeter drill bit, so I can drill this hole here for this arm, and tap it. And what I normally would like to do is take an old scrapped piece of base, so I can stick this in here and drill it without breaking this arm. So I'll drill this hole. I'll drill the hole on this arm parallel to these two holes that I've drilled. So when everything pivots, they're in the same line. Okay, we're through. We're gonna have to make sure it's lined up. And I just usually eyeball it, because most of the time when I'm drilling it, I'm gonna have to reprint these because my drill will go in at an angle, and when I mount this onto the cross member, it will be at an angle and it won't be able to pivot nice. Now that it's through, I'm gonna take a M1 tap and just run it through. Here's my tap. Right, now that we got 3 holes here on this top portion, it's time to drill the hole on the side here for these for the wheel. And again, I'm going to be using the same drill, a 0.7 drill. So after I make a through hole, I can chop it again. Again, I'm just gonna eyeball it. And with these plastic parts, these small plastic parts like this, it's very finicky and it can break on you at any time. So you have to be very diligent. Okay, I can run the tap through it now. And we can cut the old axle off. They're not needed anymore. You can keep them from another project or throw them away. Most of the time, I've found out that this little nub here needs to be shaved down, or overall you can shave down the wheels to have a even better clearance. Now it's time to drill holes on either side of these cross member, on that cross member, so we can mount these steering knuckles. And what I usually like to do is I usually like to just match drill this, get into a position where I like, and I just match drill them. This piece here would need to be chopped off just so you can have clearance. Each corner was clip off just so that I can have the smallest profile possible. Doing a test fit, you can clearly see that it's interfering the front and it would need to be ground down more. I apologize for not showing you guys the soldering process, but I suck at soldering, so I will show you the wiring diagrams instead. The first one here shows a connection without the on and off switch and the charging port. The second diagram here shows how I wired up when I have the on and off switch and the charging port. These are tiny little SMD LEDs. These are white or soft white or whatever it is. I'm gonna use these for the fog lights. I've already drilled holes on this bumper. So the first one I did, I just put it in and use hot glue to put in place. I've realized that hot glue is really easy for me to take things apart if I need to. For the headlights, the black wires will be twisted together and the red wires will be twisted together. It's always good to test the LEDs before you solder them. So before I forget, I'll be taking some heat shrink and wrapping the wheels, or wrapping the heat shrink around the wheels, so I will get more traction instead of just having this plastic. So the linkage has been created for the steering mechanism, and the only way I know if it works well or not is when I power on the receiver. When I have exposed wires, when joining the wires together like this or like that, I normally just use this liquid electrical tape. It works really well and also dries and hardens really fast. So the overall length of the base plate is just a little bit too long. So what that's doing is it's pushing the front wheels towards the top, and I'm fighting a little bit of interference here. I had to grind it down just a little bit more, and the rear wheels will contact this back fender here if I push it back. But you know, I'm able to drive it. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of alignment issues as well, because this wheel doesn't want to touch the ground, because I drilled the hole and it's not perfectly centered. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to put them down in the comments below, where you can message me directly. And if you have any troubles or any issues trying to build one of these, I could definitely give you some suggestions. Again, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate every one of you, and have a great day.